When it comes to buying a home in coastal Delaware, it's not just about finding a beautiful property close to the beach. There are some homes that you should certainly think twice about before making an offer on, especially with the growth in the area and some of our unique local factors. There are certain types of properties that might end up costing you more than you're planning for in the end, and oftentimes more than they're worth. So today we're going to talk about the types of homes that you should avoid buying at the Delaware beaches, and I'll share some important factors to consider so you don't end up with regrets after your purchase. So let's dive into the 7 homes to avoid here in coastal Delaware. The first type of home to look out for is going to be homes in high-risk flood zone. One of the biggest things to watch out for in coastal Delaware is buying a home located in a high-risk flood zone, especially those that are not on pilings or stilts like you see those homes sometimes built way up. While being close to the water can be appealing, it comes with the risk of flooding, especially during some storms, nor'easters, and the occasional hurricane that we get. The problem is that homes in these zones can face serious flood damage. They can lead to expensive repairs, and in some cases, you might get floodwaters in your homes just because it's a really high tide that day. So make sure you know where you're buying and what you're buying into. Flood insurance can be costly, and premiums have been rising quickly due to increased risk across the country. Insurance companies all need to cover their tails. Even with insurance, you could have out-of-pocket costs for damages that aren't fully covered. So I would always suggest that before purchasing, check the FEMA flood maps and ask about the property's flood history, and just make sure you understand the potential insurance costs and requirements if you are buying into a flood zone. And I would just make sure, again, that if it's not on pilings, you figure out exactly how often it's flooded and how bad the damage has been. The second type of home that I would avoid is going to be homes with outdated septic systems. In some of the older communities around coastal Delaware, you might find homes that still use outdated septic systems, and this is especially common in the more rural parts of the coastal areas like Harbison, Millsboro, some sections of Selbyville, even some parts of the Lewes zip code. The problem is that septic system issues can be quite costly and complicated to repair. Failing systems may require a complete replacement, which can cost tens of thousands of dollars, and nobody wants to walk into that right after they purchased a home. I would say that newer communities in the area are mostly on public sewer systems, which are going to be, again, more reliable and easier to maintain because it doesn't all fall on the homeowner. With an older septic system, you could be responsible for significant repair costs shortly after moving in, again, which nobody wants. My advice would be to always have a septic inspection done during the home inspection process if the home does have septic, and make sure the system is compliant with current regulations, and that if it says that it's a system for 3 bedrooms and the house has 7 bedrooms, just know that going in, because that means that the system is not the right size for the home you're buying. The third type of home to avoid is going to be homes with unusually high HOA fees. While many communities across coastal Delaware have homeowners associations, it's very common here to see HOAs. Some have unusually high fees that might not necessarily be justified by the services or amenities that they end up providing. The problem with that is high HOA fees can quickly add up, especially if you're not using all the amenities. Say they offer a golf course, but you don't play golf. It wouldn't necessarily make sense to be paying for that item. I would say that some HOAs charge premium rates for services that may not be valuable to everybody. Maybe you like mowing your own lawn, but they include lawn maintenance. So you're paying for lawn maintenance even if you don't want them to do it. The things that I would avoid are, if the fees are too high, it can certainly make homes less affordable overall, but it also can hurt your resale value on the back end. So just make sure that you understand what you're buying into. And I would compare HOA fees across a couple different communities that you're interested in, just to get a better understanding of what exactly is included, what am I paying for, and read the fine print to understand what those fees cover, what the rules are, and make sure that it fits your lifestyle. Now, we do have in Delaware, we have what's called the Delaware Uniform Common Interest Ownership Act, DECOYA for short. That gives the buyers the right to review the HOA documents, the budget, the rules, all that kind of stuff for a set period of time after going under contract on the home. This just helps give you a better understanding of what exactly you're buying into, what the rules are, and make sure you take a look at the finances as well to make sure that you're not buying into something that's just hemorrhaging cash and it's going to end up costing you a lot more because they continually have to raise the fees to cover that shortage. The fourth type of home that I would avoid is going to be homes near major roadways. While convenient access to major roads like Route 1 can certainly be appealing because it puts you right in the mix of all of our area amenities and everything that we have to do here in coastal Delaware, it can bring a host of problems, most notably noise pollution. And if you're looking at the home, say you go look at the home in January and it's all quiet and perfect, come July, if you're close to one of those major roadways when our area's population has swelled with all the vacationers and second homeowners and snowbirds and stuff that come come back to the area, it could be a lot noisier than you were expecting. So if you are seeking a tranquil coastal lifestyle, a home too close to a major roadway may not necessarily meet your expectations. And this can also make the property less appealing to future buyers should you ever want to resell it. So it could impact your resale value on the backside should you need to go sell. So I would say that when considering a property, that maybe you should visit the area a few different times of the day to assess the noise level and traffic conditions. If you only came in January, maybe try and figure out what it's like in July or August. And I would opt for homes that are either set back from main roads or in communities with buffer zones like landscaping and sound barriers and those kind of things. That way you're not getting all that noise pollution from the roadways once there's a lot more people on them. The fifth type of home that I would avoid are homes in overly restricted HOAs. Living in a community with a homeowners association is very common, as I said, in Delaware, but some HOAs can be overly restrictive. That could limit your ability to make changes to your home on the property that you purchased. They're going to tell you what you can do. So some HOAs have very strict rules about things like landscaping, exterior modifications, and so on. And if you plan to buy into one of these communities, you just need to understand what exactly it is that you're buying into. And that way you are understanding of the rules and it doesn't interfere with your lifestyle. Now, not all HOAs are bad, but it is important to find a community where the rules align with your lifestyle, because overly restrictive HOAs can limit the freedom that you have, and you may not find it to be worth the trade-off. Now, I would carefully, again, review the HOA rules and regulations before buying. You get the opportunity to review those HOA documents as a buyer, and you could certainly speak with, some neighbors. If you see anybody walking through the community, just ask them, hey, what's the HOA like? Does it make sense for, me to buy into this? And most often, people are very open about telling you their opinion about their HOA. The sixth type of home that I would avoid is going to be a fixer-upper without a full inspection. While the idea of buying a fixer-upper may seem like a great investment, especially because you have the potential to increase the property's value through repairs and upgrades, if you're not getting a thorough inspection, you could end up with way more than you ever thought you bargained for. Some fixer-uppers have hidden issues like mold, structural damage, outdated electrical systems, and so on. And those items can cost a lot to repair and quickly eat into your repair budget. So if you went in there thinking you're going to spend $25,000 and now you're spending $75,000, it's going to hurt the wallet a little bit. Without understanding fully what the property's condition is, you might end up with far more money spent on repairs than the home is even worth itself. So I would always get a detailed inspection, especially for a fixer-upper, and consider hiring specialists. Say the inspector comes in and says something wrong, I would hire somebody in that field to get a better understanding of what the repair cost or what the replacement cost could be. That way you know exactly what you're buying into and you have a better understanding of what those costs associated are. Number 7, and the final home type to avoid, is going to be homes with poorly executed renovations. We see it all the time. People come in, they flip a property for a quick buck, and they do a terrible job. Now, while updates can certainly add value, renovations done cheaply or without professional expertise can lead to headaches and costly issues down the road. I would say that most often the poor renovations include things like shoddy workmanship, low quality materials, bad paint jobs, they're painting over light switches and everything else. And these issues, if they're on surfaces that you can see, the question I start to ask is, what can I see? Is there problems with plumbing? Is there a problem with electrical? And over time, these flaws can be safety hazards that require expensive repairs, and they could lead to other bigger things like fires and that kind of stuff. When it comes to buying a home in Coastal Delaware, it is certainly crucial to be aware of some of these pitfalls and some of these homes to avoid. Doing your due diligence can certainly help you avoid expensive mistakes and ensure that your investment is a wise one. So from flood zones and septic systems to HOAs and fixer-uppers, there are so many factors to consider when choosing the right property. So if you are thinking about buying or selling a home here in Coastal Delaware, that's what me and my team help you with every single day. We would love to help you navigate the process and find a property that meets your needs. So all our information is going to be down below in the description and right here on the screen. If we can help in absolutely any way, don't hesitate to reach out. And then if you are looking for more tips on making Coastal Delaware your dream home, check out our other videos on the channel. And I hope to see you guys next time. Peace.